Okay then, let's hotel some more has-beens, shall we? Let us record some has-beening hoteling for the first time ever for the first time we're doing this. We've never done it before. It's the first. I don't even know who you people are. Where am I? What's my name? I've forgotten everything. Welcome to a Has-Been Hotel reaction on the TBSkyen YouTube channel. This is my lazy spam channel. This is my casual channel. This is my hangout channel. This is the channel where I don't do any editing work that I don't want to do. And one of the kinds of editing work I don't want to do is I don't want to deal with Amazon. I don't want to deal with their copyright claims. I don't want to deal with it. Like, Danny Mata seems to have trouble enough, like, mirroring the whole thing and having to sing the songs manually and shit like that. Not my scene. I am lazier than that, so I'm offloading the problem to you. If you've not been along to one of these reactions before, the way it works is imagine you and I sitting on a couch next to each other. We each have our own laptop. We each have our own headphones. We're watching the same show at the same time. Occasionally, I get yappy, and I go, hey, I need to tell you something. And I say 3, 2, 1, and pause, and then we pause at the same time. Then I do my yap. And oh boy, is there gonna be some of it, some amount. You can check the runtime down below. I'm sure it's a very normal amount. And once I'm done with it, I'll go, okay, cool, I'm done now. We can keep going. And I say 3, 2, 1, go. And then we go together, and we stay in sync in that way. There's also a timestamp up in the upper left corner, and you should be able to see the subtitles on screen over there as well, which hopefully should help you stay in sync with me. And that's the way that we do it here, because of, again, I am lazy. I don't want to edit things if I don't have to. And if that's annoying to you, I completely understand. There is a more convenient way to watch it if you really want to. You can become a member of the channel or Patreon or whatever. And over on the channel Discord, you will find a more convenient way to see these things. But you don't have to. It's completely fine if you don't. I'm just here to watch some cartoons and yap about them for a while. It's what I do for a job somehow. I don't know how this happened. Please don't ask me to. I'm sure I've sold my soul somewhere along the way. Anyway, let's go to hell. 3, 2, 1, go. Do 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 ba-dum ba-da-da. Ba-dum diddly-dee. Do 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 do. Silenced, this one is called. Presumably, no one's getting Alastor to shut up. Please don't call him that. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Oh, we're starting with a song. Excellent. Fantastic. I want to just... Hang on. Background characters and stuff. I need to make that go away. Hang on. Sorry. I keep forgetting to disable the audio scrubbing in my software, because I need that for editing other stuff. Background character alerts to start with. Again, I cannot say enough nice things about just the sheer variety that they like to use for background demons, and the creativity of it as well. They're always so elaborate and expressive. Huh. Even in that picture, Alastor has his little doesn't show up well on camera effect going. Love the eyes and the hair. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Okay, I have the subtitles burned into the video, which is maybe not the smartest idea by me, but let's see if we can read the Chiron. The inevitable fall. Yeah, just propaganda nonsense, I guess. A thing I've been chewing on also is, like, the V's tower is the Tower of Babel, right? Like, that seems to be very explicitly the reference that they're making, and that's sort of the reference that's at the core of the theme of the season, which is like the V's are building the Tower of Babel, a tower to reach onto God, right? And the end of the Tower of Babel story, as we all know, is like God is like, well, that's annoying and makes me jealous and pissed off, and I'm an Old Testament God, so I'm gonna kick that shit over and fuck your mouth, by the way, by forcing everyone who was working on the Tower of Babel, who used to share one holistic, complete language, to all speak in different languages, so no one can coordinate, no one can understand each other, and thus is strife and conflict born into the world, etc. It's a part of a creation myth sort of deal, right? So I've been thinking about, like, okay, so are we doing a thing with communication specifically? Because that's sort of that's a hard thing to say, is like, oh, that's a specific theme that this season is developing beyond others. Because that's just like anytime you do a soap opera, which is ultimately kind of what Has Been Hotel is, like a big sort of emotional melodrama. Communication is a major theme. Communication and miscommunication. That's always kind of the thing. But it has definitely been here. Right, that the communication is a major thing. Like the way that people use their words with each other and against each other has been a major thing here. Like that's part of why Charlie is falling on her ass so much, is because she doesn't respect the power of like dishonest communication. Right, like she doesn't really, and she doesn't listen either because she's so caught up. And I've been thinking about it because like there's the whole thing with like, this is a dumb example, but still nifty song. Right, Clean It Up, that the first part of it she sings in English, right? And that's when she's saying the filthiest, disgustingest building I've ever seen. There's piss and cum and vomit everywhere, and bugs and rat blood, and then she swaps to Japanese when Charlie tells her to help differently. But when she's singing in Japanese, she's mostly just saying really nice things about Charlie. Like she's giving like compliments that would be understandable to the TV audience if she wasn't singing in a language that apparently no one in hell speaks. So like, there are parts of it, there are bits and pieces here where it feels like words and communication are like a big deal to what this season is getting at, but I'm not 100% like, I don't know how much they're committing to that bit is what I'm curious about. Anyway, that's the whole lot of nonsense just to say that lamppost demon back there, that character design fucks. That character design rules. That is so fucking cool. I love that. That was the point of me saying all of that. That's what I was trying to get to. Also, and that does serve kind of a lot of cunt, actually. They don't make HRT pills that look like that, do they? Because that feels like... But anyway, another thing. We've seen bulletins and shit posted all over the walls already in the season, but every single other time we sort of panned past a wall and there's been like things posted up on it, it's been Lilith posters, and now this time it's all Vox all the time, saturating the airwaves, which I'm a bit curious about. Anyway, let's hear a song. 3, 2, 1. Oh shit, it's her! Oh, she gets a fucking proper speaking role or singing role here. Fucking 60s bubblegum pop. Doo-wop. Torals. Oh no. Oh no. Right, CZ. That feels racist. Three, two, one, pause. The fuck was that? Oh my god, okay. Alright, let me just... Oh, alright. I'm very happy to see her again. I talked about her in my video essay about the character design of the show. I like a sparkle dog. Like, I like that exuberance, that wildness that exists in, like, the sparkle dog style of character design, that it's so over the top, it's so too much in every single possible direction. I feel it's somewhat emblematic of the way that Has-Been Hotel character designs function in general. And I appreciate that it's here, right? Like, it's very much like the character design style of every single character is maximalist, which, again, talked about that in my video. Say, please watch it, please. Plugging my other videos. But, like, the Sparkle Dog is, like, a uniquely exuberant example of it. It's something, like, you can see that influence in Viv Medrano's old art. That she's definitely has a lot of connection with that side of furry character design. Similarly, like, it's the same thing with B, right, from Hell of a Boss. Also very much operates on a Sparkle Dog character design. So, okay, so there is a communication theme here, I will say, is... I'm gonna need Sam Haft to talk about why this song secretly makes sense musically or whatever, because I'm like, fucking 60s bubblegum doo-wop leading into, like, a bunch of style quotes for, oh boy, this is not gonna be my favorite song, I can tell you that. It's fun, like, it's a fun sequence, but, like, not, I don't think it's gonna be on my playlists, to be quite honest with you. Velvette is dressed the part. There is something vaguely weird about seeing Velvette kind of tradwife cosplaying. Especially when Valentino, like, it doesn't change a fucking thing. Like, he shows up in the pimp outfit no matter what kind of day it is. Right, and it's a performance, right? Like, it's all performance, they're all pitching to the overlords, right? Like, why everyone should come with them and, like, rebel against heaven. And we get to see Z's bit, and it's real fucking Cartoon Network dancing hours in here. Flashing light warning, by the way. It's real Cartoon Network dancing hours in here, because, like, the way that they've animated the dancers in the background, right? Just these little popping up and down animations, and, like, ZZ mostly just dancing by switching feet. But, like, as we go here, Vox changes style, right? Like, so it's all fucking auto-tune and like like drum and bass. Well, not quite drum and bass, but, like, fucking club beat shit, techno beat shit. And then it's like, hi, partner, we're quoting a Western now. So, like, it is a thing about, like, Vox changing his communication to suit his audience, right? Like, speaking different languages in order to unite a bunch of disparate people around a single common purpose, which, like, okay, that aligns with the Tower of Babel thing to an extent. I'm curious about these two. Why is a cactus demon fighting a punk record demon? Like, what's going on with these two? Like, how... Huh? Even the fucking Wanted posters has the propaganda on them. That's interesting. Right, here he's singing opera. Zestiel, he struggles to communicate with Zestiel because he doesn't know what Zestiel wants. He's just like, yeah, Zestiel is old and Carmilla is, I guess, Mexican. I don't, like, the sombrero makes me think Mexican. I don't know if this is, like, a more broadly Hispanic kind of outfit or if it's specifically culturally Mexican. Either way, it feels kind of racist. It feels like maybe don't do that. So there is this theme of, like, Vox changing his communication and also pandering, right? Like, pandering like a motherfucker telling people like whatever the fuck he thinks they most want to hear, making them whatever promises will get them in line, because he wants to line up his army for the conquest of heaven, and he starts by recruiting the overlords, which of course makes perfect sense given what he wants to achieve, because they're the ones who have minions. This is not going to work out well for anyone. Least of all the other overlords. And again, I wonder if the thing that's being set up here is that Vox currently is able to unite all the other overlords behind him with the power of his rhetoric, his voice, his singing, whatever. And then at some point, there's going to be a communications breakdown, right? The classic way to do that would be Alastor somehow gets Vox on a hot mic where he admits he's just going to sacrifice everyone else for his own goals, because Alastor is the radio demon and Vox is going to shout it into his face and Alastor is going to be a microphone. Like, I don't know. Like, that would be the sort of classic way to do it. I'm a little bit curious about where they're going specifically with it, though. Like, how specifically they're going to have the communications breakdown happen. Because that would be the way that Vox fails, right? Like Vox is so confident in his power to persuade, his power to lead people on, to promise them to say whatever, because he's a cult leader, right? That's his whole thing, is like, I'm a cult leader, I can say something and make it true by saying it, right? That's the cult leader thing, is that power of convincing other people to, like, be your stooges, right? Which is the thing that he could never do with Alastor. I think, I've also been thinking about Vox and Alastor's relationship back then, because, like, looking at the scene where Vox proposes their little collaboration, it is the thing of, like, if we read Alastor squarely through his animation, there's definitely physical acting that he's doing that indicates that he's not opposed to being close with Vox, but it's the moment that Vox proposes that collaboration, right? Like, it's the moment Vox proposes that they depend on each other in any way, is when Alastor sort of turns and goes, oh, fuck you. And it's that question of, was Alastor doing that because... My sense is that, like, when he says he did respect Vox once upon a time and saw Vox as, like, the closest thing to him in terms of, like, power and capability in hell, I think that was probably mostly true. And so for me, I think, like, when Vox reveals this idea that he's willing to depend on Alastor, that's revealing a weakness, and Alastor doesn't really have any choice psychologically, except when someone reveals a weakness, he has to take advantage of it, right? He has to use it in order to assert supremacy, in order to, like, make someone feel less than him, in order to assert his power, his independence, right? I think Alastor also has problems with the idea of needing anyone else ever. He doesn't like needing anyone else. That's why he hates his deal with Rosie so much, because he gets to be the most powerful demon in hell, but he depends on someone. He's answerable to someone. Someone else can call him to heal, right? And he can't handle that. He cannot have it, right? He really doesn't like anyone else having any kind of power, pull, or influence over him, right? And so Vox's proposal was like, work with me, depend on me, trust me, right? That's Alastor's like, nah, that's not gonna fucking happen, and I'm gonna cut this shit off right the fuck now and assert my superiority, and I'm gonna touch all of your psychological weak points and crush you, right? And Vox's whole deal, ever since Alastor did that to him, Vox's whole deal has been driven by, I'm gonna fucking prove Alastor wrong, right? I'm gonna prove Alastor wrong, I'm gonna prove everyone who's ever doubted me wrong, I'm gonna make it true, right? I have a dream. And so much of what he's doing is both an imitation of and attempting to opposite Alastor, right? Alastor says, having other people on your team, having a team, that's stupid, fuck you, you're a moron, you're a weak coward, you can't do anything without other people. And Vox's whole thing seems in part to be like, no, I can do lots of things with other people, but I don't depend on them, I don't need them, I'm just using them as a tool, but I can do lots of things. Like, there's that mixture of, it feels like he wants to rebuke Alastor and be better than him and prove him wrong, but there's also that part of him that's like, and that's what Alastor is still playing on, right? Like, he still has the thing of, like, I knew you'd need me here to be, like, your unwilling witness when you lose your marbles in Act 3, that kind of deal, where Alastor is counting on the fact that Vox, dipshit that he is still needs him, right? Like, Alastor is like, you still need me, you still need other people, that's still your weakness, and it's never going to stop being your weakness. And I'm using that against you ruthlessly, right? That you want my respect so fucking bad. You want me to look you in the eye and say that you were right, right? Like that I was wrong, that you were right, that you're better. Like that's what you want so desperately. And so long as I'm withholding that from you, you can't touch me kind of vibe. I don't know. Anyway, whole point being, so much of this, I'm looking for power of the voice. I'm looking for power of communication to be operationalized both as Vox's power, and speaking of being unable to communicate with someone, hello, and as his downfall. And I'm curious where that's going to go. Anyway, let's see if Charlie can get Emily's attention. 3, 2, 1, go. You have a dad, you know. Oh, everyone has plans, huh? Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. More loose, bouncy animation from Charlie. Again, this is the advantage of this style of character design, right? Like, I've talked about it before multiple times. I dislike the default lanky, skinny bullshit that Medrano has got going on with her character designs. I kind of wish that there was more body diversity among the main cast, especially. This is just, this is why animation students will develop this kind of a character design style, though, because when you're doing like long key poses where you can really fucking stretch their limbs and fuck around, you get to have so much fun with it. You can do so much fun with a long ass lanky character. Look at the doubling. That's lovely doubling. Because all it is a single frame, right? You draw one frame of this between some frames of other things, and what you get in return is the illusion that like 90 frames of animation has happened. Right? That the character's swinging their arms a lot more than you are actually drawing. And you just support that with a little bit of smearing around the edge, and it's like, magic trick. It's so cool. I mean, you can tell she's a circus kid, right? That's just good, fun character animation. I like that Charlie is clearly just like, she doesn't weigh a goddamn thing to Vaggie. Light as a feather. I think they might be lesbians, actually. I think that's my new theory. Is they might like, well, she's bi, but you know, I think they might be like, I don't know if it's just friendship, but I think that might be something going on between the two of them. Is this a ship? Like, do people ship them? I don't really know if people ship them, but like, I feel like you could probably like, there's probably a romantic dynamic there somewhere. They're probably just friends. Historian voice. Love me a good smear. And I also do love me the... It's not until this point that Charlie has the thought of like, oh wait, they might be torturing him or something. She's been so busy with other shit that it's not until this moment. Props to the sound designer also for the little sound effect, like the little rubbery like sound effect as she turns her head. It's very good. Vaggie's character design seems to have changed. Again, I wonder exactly how board-driven the show is. Because there's definitely... It definitely feels like there's inconsistencies from scene to scene occasionally in terms of exactly the model of the character. And exactly the expression of the character design. And again, this is something I personally like. Vaggie definitely feels like she looks different in this episode than she did in episode 3, though. Which, again, I have to go back and check how much. And I'm not saying different as in, like, everything about her is different, but... The way she's being handled by the whoever is leading the boards here feels different, though. Again, long, lanky limbs. You just get to fuck around with that shit. Oh, no, 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 no! Fucking someone edit this so that she's doing, like, the multi-beam attacks from Dragon Ball. Like, when they're just like... Charlie just, like, dancing like a prospector in the Old West, shooting her guns in the air. I think there's gold in them there hills. Pow, pow! Well, what appealing animation. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, he would. Finally, someone asked Lucifer to do something. No Alastor's allowed. He's so obsessed with him. Is this the first time we've seen him in another outfit? Yeah, don't call him that! Oh no! Oh no! Very good. 3, 2, 1, pause. Oh dear. Okay, so there's definitely a communication theme happening. Interesting little lore tidbits here. And another example of Lucifer being quite stupid. You're stuck in hell with all these sinners. You can't kill them, can't do nothing to them. Hey, Lucifer? Do you know a way to get rid of sinners from hell? I know a way to get rid of sinners from hell. Just they just go away forever. You never have. There's a way to do that. There's a way to make them go away, Lucifer. You can make them go away without even killing them or anything. Is this idea your daughter's been developing for a while? Oh my god. Speaking of lanky character designs, Angel and Baxter. A lot of eyebrow acting with Husk as well. Which, you know, there would have to be, given... That little gesture Angel does there, though. Again, he's leading with the wrist, right? Like, waving her along, leading with the wrist, and then into that. And that's what gives, like, the curve there. And here, like, again, an advantage of his character design. When Angel wants to arch his back, right? Like, when you want to arch the back of the character, you really want to emphasize that S-curve. The fact that he has this weird, blunted, flat head that's sort of, like, football-shaped long ways, you get that whole thing to work with to emphasize the gesture all the way out there, like, working with the curl of the arm. So, like, he can really he can do a little swish like that. And there's so much motion in it that it pops. It's very effective. I also do appreciate that they are animating him with forearms, which, to my memory, they didn't always do that in Season 1. Like, sometimes they like to try and avoid it. I like that we're seeing his forearms a lot more being used as part of his gestures and part of his acting. Right? That he tends to like to hold, like, hand on hip and swap them out. Anyway, little Lulu here. Still with the duck obsession. I guess he was playing with static electricity. Oh, that's a nice little... So when he notices Vaggie, right, you can see it leads from the face. Boop. He has this little blink, boop. And then it propagates through the rest of the body, like gradually from that, like that secondary motion. Where they're really using the bulk of that big fucking sweater. And again, talking of silhouettes and shit, like, I think this is the first time we've seen Lucifer outside of his ringmaster suit. And it changes so much about his character, right? Just like character design perspective. Lucifer is normally very sharp, right? Like everything about him has a tendency to be quite sharp because, you know, has-been hotel. So putting him, or any has-been character really, in a big, soft, round, like all curves, all circles, kind of big, fluffy sweater, it changes so much about his character vibe. And the way that he comes across, right? And that's like, again, that's contextual to the scene where Lucifer, being who he is a big, soft little plushie of a man, right? A big, soft little plushie. That makes sense. And that's being expressed in his character design here, right? Where we have this softness and apathy that exists within him, right? Great Quaxby. Did Lucifer write that himself? Is that why he's bitter? Is that he wrote The Great Quaxby and no one liked it? Is that what it is, buddy? Oh, man. That's rough. But Lucifer is a soft, sort of ineffectual little teddy bear most of the time, right? He can't hurt the sinners. He can't do anything to them. So when he's trying to put on the King of Hell thing, right, there's a literalization here that that's a costume, right? And this is something that kind of bothered me about Lou in season 1, is he's stuck in his depression man cave making little ducklings, right? That's the only fucking thing he's doing, making little ducklings. He's obsessed with it. But he's still wearing the fucking ringmaster outfit. And I do feel like in season 1, it would have been a lot stronger in terms of communicating his internal character to have him have a sad dad depression outfit, and then he puts on the ringmaster outfit to go see Charlie because he's putting on his King of Hell shtick, right? Like that it's a costume he's putting on. That seems to be what they're doing quite deliberately here, right? Like that they are showing that Lucifer, when left to his own devices, when he's got nothing else occupying him and no one to perform for, that this is the mode that he tends to be in. Oversized sweaters, pajama pants, just sort of lounging around a big soft play space where he can be creative and put little hats on little ducklings. And that he mostly is very much like a homebody, an isolationist, right? Like he's to a certain... You thought money would work, Mammon? He's to a certain extent, like much in the way that he had in the first season, he's kind of given up, right? Like he has kind of given up on Hell to a large extent. And even though Charlie has reignited something in him, passion, right? He's not quite out of that mode of being. Like he still mostly just wants to be sitting around his nice soft little house, tooling around, playing with his ducklings, and making cute shit that he adores, right? Like, he just wants to be this guy. He doesn't want to be the King of Hell. He doesn't want to be a powerful demon. He'll do it, but it's not really the thing that where his heart is. And the costume change here is, like, very literally showing that, right? Like, that there is a direct element of performance, right? Like, as we'll see, when he goes to threaten Vox, now we know that he can't actually do jack shit to actually hurt him. That's gonna be, oh god, fuck. If or when, presumably when Vox figures out that Lucifer can't touch him. Oh my god. Oh, he's gonna be insufferable. Holy shit. I mean, his ego is going to literally explode. That's like God. So I guess if that's a bribe from Mammon, I guess the other things here are gifts from the other sins? Is that what we're... I'm sorry, I'm all of a sudden jumped into hell of a boss brain. Because that's definitely from Sloth, right? Like from... Can't remember what her character name is, but Sloth. And the candy, I would imagine, would be from B. Perfume from Envy, maybe? So I guess they keep sending him gifts and being like, hey, dude, come back and fucking help us run hell, you motherfucker! And of course, there's the apple. Does Spindlehorse already sell like a blind box, mystery box thing where you can get a duckling and they have like 89 different hats and it's random and you have to buy like 100 packages in order to get all of the ducks? They probably will. Like they're gonna have to at some point. I do like that he's like when Lucifer is like, I don't know if I want to. I don't want to be king of hell today. I just kind of want to be in. I just want to be in my pajamas and I want to play with my ducklings and scroll Instagram. I don't want to. I'm just a girl. Like it feels like he's sort of in that specific kind of self-indulgent sort of self-care day as a cover for depression kind of vibe. And I do like that when he's deepest in that mindset of like, I don't wanna, that it's the sloth plushie that he's tickling. That's kind of cute. But yeah, communication, words, right? Like, Vaggie knows the button to press with Lucifer, which is Alastor, right? Adorable little apple man. Just want to put him on a shelf under glass and watch him wither. Again, love me a good spin animation, because it's cheating. It's all cheating. That's what I love about a good spin animation. Because you're not doing shit. You're not doing shit. You're drawing completely static frames. That's just like, here's some scribbled lines I put all over the thing. But what you get is perfect sense of motion. Especially when you enhance and amplify it with a lovely flame spiral like that. Good application of glow on the colors there as well, to really make that pop. Call me daddy, Jesus Christ. That's very much like, that's Lucifer. That's very much the same as Lucifer in season 1 when Charlie calls him, being like, "Hey, bitch." Same thing. It's just. Oh boy, you've heard these words. You don't understand what they mean, Lucifer. Please don't use them. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, you do. Yes, she is. I love him. Oh, Lute's still there. Okay. Yes, he can. I just love seeing Sarah eat shit. 3, 2, 1, pause. Okay, like, it is a communication. That was the thing I completely forgot I was going to talk about. There is a communication thing, right? Like, the thing about not talking. Because I've been saying since the moment Sarah was like, oh, I may have maybe done a bad thing by condoning a genocide, which, you know, like you would, it's like, let's leave aside the fact that you didn't realize it before and just celebrate that you got there in the end. Okay. But like, how is the first thing, Sarah? How is the first thing not to talk to Charlie and be like, hey, how did you redeem someone? How's that not the first thing you think of? Is like, maybe we should find out how the fuck this works. Is that not, how is that not your first priority, right? Because she has this whole song with the speaker of God where she's like if like souls from damnation can find their salvation on high, then how can I, right? Like she's looking for guidance. She's trying, like, how could I possibly find any way to make amends or atone for what I have done? Like, how can I possibly undo any of the damage? And it's like, maybe the first thing you should do is be concerned with the people that you've been wronging. Like, maybe that should be your first concern, is like, oh, these people I have wronged. Maybe that's the thing I should be curious about. I should be immediately curious about, how did they redeem someone? And can we somehow replicate the process? Because if you want to mend some bridges with hell, I don't know, helping them get redeemed and so they can go to heaven, it's not a bad start. It's a pretty good start, all things considered. Is like, hey, like, not that you're gonna be forgiven for everyone for everything that you've done, but it's like that you start to address some of the harm once you do that. But the first thing she does is just go, cut off everything, right? The first thing she does is cut off all contact, all connection, all speech, all talk. Like, we cannot talk to each other. We cannot communicate with each other. We cannot hear from one another. Hell needs to sort itself out first. You're the one who broke it! It's like, motherfucker! This is your problem that you made! What do you mean sort itself out? It's fucking... And if it's familiar rhetoric as well, isn't it? It's familiar rhetoric. It's rhetoric you've heard before about, like, oh, yes, no, I mean, obviously we would be happy to help a certain region in the Middle East rebuild after all the horrible stuff but they really need to sort their own stuff. It's Hamas. Like, it's people saying, like, oh, we would be happy to, but first they need to sort themselves out. First they need to condemn Hamas and get rid of It's that same shit. People who are like who are suffering a fucking genocide being told they have to sort their shit out before other people will help. How about you sort that shit out? How about you, with all of the money and all of the power, how about you do something? How about you do something? Anything, literally one thing. Oh my god. Like, but that's so Sarah is an accurate representation of this mindset, right? Where in response to understanding that she has done wrong, immediately her reflex defaults to defensive rather than compassionate, right? Her immediate reflex is, I have to protect heaven from the consequences of what I did. And it's like, what if, like, Vox down there right now, motherfucker, is gathering an army to go assault hell, to go assault heaven. The exact nightmare scenario that you were worried about is the exact thing that's happening. And do you know what would be a really, 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 really effective way to stop him? Showing that redemption is possible and that people can go to heaven without having to fight a war for it. That would be very effective at solving the problem you are most afraid of, which is hell rising up. Is if you just told all of them, hey, you have a chance to go to heaven, actually. It's a thing that's possible and we would like to help you do it. That would probably help. That would do something good. And it would solve your problem. It would address your fears specifically. But no, because she has this, she's still all me, right? Like, she's still, how can I atone? Right? I feel bad about this. It's still me. And that's where I like Emily a lot, that Emily is like, she's a little confused, but she's got the spirit. It's like, I don't think gift baskets are going to cut it, babe. But the fact that Emily's first instinct is like, no, we did wrong by these people. We have to fucking... We have to make some kind of outreach, right? We have to build some kind of connection and try to figure out what the fucking accountability process looks like. What the fuck, any kind of amends that can be made. We have to reach out and connect with them in some way. And I like that Emily is there to be the voice of that and say, like, no, fuck you, you have to listen to them. And Penches is a good play. I like that she brings in Penches. Again, because, again, Sarah, how was the first thing on your mind not to talk to Penches and try and figure out how he was redeemed? And try and, like, again, even from the perspective of you are scared of hell, and you are scared of what hell might do. What if you talked to someone who's from there, who has lived there, who knows what the people are like a little bit? Like, maybe Penches is not, like, Mr. Hell Understander #1, but you've got a guy who knows some stuff. How is that not the first thing? How's that not the first thing you do is, like, tell me about hell, tell me how the power structure works, tell me what people's lives are like, so that I can understand these people that I'm so fucking terrified of, but Sarah doesn't want to do it. Because she's still stuck in that I have to solve everything myself mode. Right? I am responsible for, I have to save heaven, it's me, my power. She's so fucking selfish. She's so fucking selfish, that bitch. Ugh. It's like, again, I'm happy that she has arrived at the conclusion that like, oh shit, I was wrong. Good. That's the first step. Next step is do something! Instead of doing nothing, which is her thing, is she just... Ooh. Anyway, what were we talking about? I think I blacked out there for a second. Oh, right, Loot is there. Still. Somehow. I kind of figured, like, my thought was that after Gravity, that her first thing that she did would be to go to hell and plan her revenge. But now she's trapped in heaven and she can't go, which is interesting. I mean, cooping up someone who is absolutely fucking tearing themselves apart inside is rarely a thing that helps the pressure go down. But at least she can't go and kill Vaggie right now. She's gonna have to wait and do that later. Also, Abel, please be useful at some point. Abel, please don't be your father's son too much. I love him. He's so good. It is consistent with Sarah, right? Like, consistent with Sarah is her solution to being in distress about anything is to push people away from her, right? It's that thing of, like, it's the same exact logic that led to her, like, in the You Didn't Know song, right? Where she's like, you have to listen. It was such a big decision. It's like, it was so important, and I needed to make the decision as, like, your solution to a huge decision that affects all of heaven and every soul in existence is to shut yourself away, not talk to anyone about it, not seek any guidance or counseling from anyone else, and just make that decision on your own, right? And she's doing it again here. It's that pattern with her character. There's this, she thinks because of the weight of responsibility on her shoulders, she has to do everything on her own, right? It's this thing that, like, if you're dealing with a character who's not powerful, a child, for example, can have this attitude. If they are, like, a child of emotionally neglectful parents can often grow up with a sense of, like, I have to do everything on my own. I cannot ask anyone for help ever. I can't be a burden on others. Like, that's where that kind of psychology can come from. Is this one of the places? It's not good when the person who has that particular psychology is, like, a demigod in charge of half of reality. That's bad. That's a bad thing. That leads to problems. Oh boy, Sarah, I hate that bitch. Like I said, not in the sense of, like, she can't be redeemed or whatever, just she causes so many of her own problems. And they are so fixable. And I do want her, like, as I've said, like, Hazbin Hotel ultimately is a show that wants to be about redemption, right? It wants to be about what even the worst people in the universe can be redeemed if they are willing to do the work. an under-discussed part of that thing, redemption, getting better, is that a person getting better is often a very slow and excruciating and fucking infuriating process, especially if you're one of the people who've been wronged by them, because you're going to have to watch this person who says they want to get better fall on their ass and faceplant and eat shit multiple times, making the same mistakes over and over again until at some point a little thing switches and they learn a little bit and they get a little bit better, and that's pulling teeth. Like, that's it, especially if you've been victimized by someone. That is profoundly painful and not something that should ever be put on anyone who's been like the victim of abuse to have to suffer through. That's not a moral duty that anyone has. But I do, like, I think it's good storytelling. Because whatever else you can say about Sarah, I am invested in her character. I'm engaged with her, right? Like, I am not bored by her. And I do want to see, like, the process of her eventually at some fucking point figuring out how to be less of a fucking dipshit. Right? Like what that process looks like and how that manifests in her becoming better, right? Because, again, for the premise of the show to be meaningful, there has to be a real shit-ass person who doesn't deserve redemption, like, on the face of it, like, where any person would be, like, reasonable in saying, I don't want to fucking have that person around anymore, that does the work and comes out on the other side and becomes, like, addresses the harm that they've done and starts the work that is necessary to, you know, reintegrate and make a community whole again. That is good. I want that story to be told. I also want to shout and scream and curse at Sarah the whole time she's doing it, which is okay because she's not a real person and I can't hurt her and I can't dissuade her from getting better. But maybe if this in real life, maybe it's not always useful to scream abuse at people who are trying to get better. Sometimes it's best just to disengage. But Sarah, fuck you, Sarah! Stop being an asshole! Anyway, what were we talking about? I think I blacked out again. Gift baskets, right. Yeah, no, heart's in the right place, Emily, but I think it's going to take a little bit more than that. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Eat shit, loot. What if you talked to people in hell about what they need? What if you talked to them? The little melody quote, very good. Yeah, suck it up, Sarah. Go talk to them. Talk. Go talk. Talk! Oh, Loot is there, right. Oh no, she could go to hell. Immediately she went to hell. Oh no. Hi, Abel. Charlie, talk to them. Charlie. There we go, okay. Oh no. Oh no. 3, 2, 1, pause. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Charlie, did you not learn your lesson? You can't go on Vox's TV and oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna go wrong in some hilarious ways. Oh no. Oh no. It's just, you know that thing people say that a podcast is just two dumb assholes telling each other exactly over and over again? I'm afraid to say that Emily and Charlie in this situation is a little bit of a podcast. Because it's like, Emily's like, we're going to say sorry and that'll fix things. And Charlie, being who Charlie is like, yeah, if you say sorry, that'll fix things. And it's like, talk to anyone else first. Talk to anyone else. Please, I'm begging you. It's like, it's good that you're talking to each other. Maybe talk for a little bit longer. Maybe think before. Oh God. It's just I'm dreading this because I can see how this is about to go so wrong. Charlie is delivering a gift basket to Vox here. He's gonna get everything he wants. Oh no. And like Charlie, poor girl, she's clearly not in the right frame of mind for any of this either. She's been running on... That's the thing about Charlie, right? Like, Charlie has been face-planting and fucking up for the entire season so far, right? And from episode 1, it's very clear that, like, she's deeply traumatized by Pentius's death. Right? Like, deeply, deeply traumatized by Pentius's death. Understandably so, right? And everything she's been doing is her desperately trying to make up for that failure, right? Like, she feels guilty about it. She feels responsible for it. He died because I couldn't get heaven to work together, right? And nothing has been able to sway her from that feeling of guilt. And that's why she fixated so much on redeeming Angel, right? Like, and that's why in the redemption with Angel, as she grows more and more manic, she becomes more and more desperate to turn him into Pentius, because that's the thing that she's trying to make up for, right? Like, in much the way that Sarah is seeking redemption or seeking absolution and she doesn't know how the fuck to do it, how to atone for what she's done, Charlie has no idea how to deal with the guilt that she still feels like she's the one who caused Pentius's death. Even learning that Pentius isn't technically dead has not really abated that in her, because she hasn't gotten to see him. She hasn't gotten to say sorry, right? She hasn't gotten to deal with it in any way, shape, or form. So she's running herself ragged, right? Like, because she's like, I need to make up for this. I need to make up for the thing I did. I need to do it. I need to make up for it by any means possible, right? She's been in this manic state the whole time. Completely manic, completely incapable of slowing down, completely incapable of taking a second and, like, always jumping anything that feels like an opportunity. Oh, this could be the thing. This will be the thing that fixes it. This will be the thing. Like, Vox coming to, like, interview the tell, like, jumping on the provocation from Vox, like, reacting instantly to everything that happens, never stopping, never thinking, never planning, right? Because she can't. Because right now she's so much in, I need to dedicate every waking second of my life to somehow make up for this guilt. Otherwise, I'm a bad person vibe, right? And that's the grace I'll give her, is when she's face planting all over the place and eating shit and being an asshole to Angel, quite frankly. Like, that's the place that it's coming from. It's not malice, but it is, you know, it's still poor behavior and poor treatment of other people. And it is all this fucking guilt of being completely incapable of dealing with the consequences of her actions, essentially, right? Because, like, one thing which is always going to be true is that Pentius died as a result of Charlie's actions, right? Like, that, no matter how you want to square it, like no matter who you want to assign, like, blame and responsibility for, and it was Adam who killed him. Let's put the blame there, first of all. Charlie is the one who set this whole thing in motion. Like, Charlie's the one who set all this shit into motion. She's the princess of hell. She has a responsibility to the people in her hotel. And when she fails to protect them, it is on her, right? Like, ultimately, you can't get away from that, because she's the one in charge. She's the one who holds a lot of power here. So, like, the guilt is not as easy as just, oh, but Charlie, it wasn't your fault. Adam killed him. Like, no, that you can't just wave that shit away. That's a tough thing to deal with. But also, Charlie just isn't communicating with other people. at all, right? Like, she's not listening to Vaggie. She's not listening to Angel when he's telling her to stop. She's not listening to anything. She's just running like a hamster on a wheel, burning herself absolutely the fuck out. And she's falling apart, and it doesn't look like and now when, like, the perfect opportunity to do something, right? Like, the greatest opportunity she's had for communication with Heaven ever falls in her lap, she can't stop because she's running on that mania. So it's like, go to Vox, fucking, like, instead of, let's sit down, let's talk, let's compare notes, let's figure out what's going on, let's try and establish, like, lines of communication between each other, just plow forward, right? No thought. Poor girl, and it's gonna have terrible consequences. Oh dear. Anyway, maybe should not have brought her along. Perching like a fucking vulture there in the background. Oh, Lute, she's so angry, it's adorable. Love a good stretch. Yoink. It really is the thing of, like, Emily is Heaven Charlie, right? Like, that's from their character design to their affect and the way that they're counterposed with each other in the narrative. Charlie and Heaven version of Charlie, right? And I guess by extension, Sarah would be Heaven Lucifer in a sense. She's so mad. Stay mad. Don't stay mad, actually. Go to therapy, Lute. Maybe talk to someone about the hallucinations. I like it when you're upset. Oh dear. I'm just trying to postpone it. I'm just looking for anything I can talk about so I don't have to go see how this all falls apart. Oh, it's gonna get fucked up so bad. Poor Charlie. Poor everyone. Even I feel slightly bad, maybe even for Sarah, depending on what's about to happen, because, oh boy. Not that bad, though. I feel bad for Emily mostly, I think. Because it really is that thing of, like, if you just took, like, 10 more minutes, if you would just, like, go find Angel, really. Like, go find Angel and ask him what living in hell is like. Ask him what might be necessary in order for people to start, you know, the process of... Ask Angel, you have 1 million people at the fucking hotel, Charlie. Well, like, at least a dozen. You have some people at the hotel who are in the therapy session. Ask Husk! Ask anyone! Oh, God. Talk to people. Communication. It really is, like, yeah, communication is the theme, isn't it? It's just, so much of it is just talk to one another for 5 fucking seconds, you morons. Oh. Anyway, yeah, okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Vox, you're so pathetic. Alastor, this is too easy for you. Oh, man! Vox, you're so stupid! Oh my god. It's nice the villains are morons as well. 3, 2, 1, pause. Jesus Christ, Vox. You are the easiest motherfucker in the world. Oh my, it's like, he wants to fuck Alastor so bad, it is literally making him stupid. Like, literally that's what's happening. He wants Alastor so bad. He needs him so much, it makes him stupid. If Alastor wasn't there, I think he would be like 100 points smarter. Right? Just like his Dungeons and Dragons intelligence score would have like a +5 modifier. Right now it's at a -1. Like, Alastor is doing bimbofication to Vox just by his sheer presence. Oh my god. It's so funny. It's so funny. There's some fucking... I don't 100% know. But, like, there's definitely, like, an ABO Omegaverse thing there, right? Like, where it's like Alastor's making Vox stupid with... what is it? Alphas release hormones that make betas dumb, something like that. There's some pheromone bullshit, fucking whatever. Like, that's what's happening here, is that, like, Alastor is just sitting there oozing out all his fucking whatever particles, and Vox's brain cells are turning off one by one. Like, someone's written that fanfic already, I know, but still. And it is so transparently, like, the same thing with, like, the moment Alastor called, right? Like, the moment Alastor said, come out, Vox, Vox abandoned Valentino in the middle of sex, right? Like, literally, like, he cares about Alastor more than he cares about having his dick inside of Val, right? The fucking way he just like whoop. Like, he knows that he has Vox wrapped around his little fucking finger. He knows how easy this is. And Alastor's just negging him from word one. Are you sure you want to present yourself like this to all of hell? Right? Like, it's like, are you sure you want to go out looking like that? It's just, he's negging him. He's fully negging him. And again, that's the thing of, like, the whole sequence after the fight scene when Alastor is making his proposal, right? And in Don't Forget Reprise, it's a seduction. Alastor is seducing Vox, right? And Alastor, like, we know Alastor is ace. We don't know what kind of ace. Like, we don't know if he's, like, specifically sex repulsed or what's going on with him there. But Alastor is seducing Vox. That's what he is doing. Like, even if he's not necessarily seducing him to have sex with him, he's seducing him emotionally. So that Vox is listening to Alastor, so that Vox is prioritizing Alastor's opinion, so that Vox is inclining his personality towards Alastor instead of paying attention to his own shit, right? Wait. Alastor, you're not looking at Vox's back there. You look... It is a seduction, right? Like, that's why the sexual imagery, like, that's why Alastor with his shirt torn open and, like, Vox doing the little thing with like the with the scar and the stitches and the whole fucking sequence in Don't Forget that is just like, it's not fucking bratty bottom coded for no reason, right? It is part of it. Like, not in the sense that Alastor is literally going to want to or is going to fuck Vox. I think my read on Alastor is that he's ace in the sense that he has absolutely no interest in sex whatsoever. He likes killing. That's how he gets off, right? Like, he gets off on power. He gets off on control. But I think my read on him is that he's the kind of ace that's like, he has no interest in sex. He doesn't want to do it. But he might engage in sexual activity for some other kind of thrill, right? Like for the thrill of power, for the thrill of domination, for the thrill of running a scam, for the thrill of getting one over on someone. Like, he might do that as a manipulation. Like, that's my read on it. But certainly, like, it's a seduction. Like Vox specifically, Alastor is riling up Vox. He's arousing him emotionally, right? Like, again, not necessarily in a sexual sense, but he's arousing him emotionally. He's keeping him angry. He's keeping him insecure. He's pushing all of his like berserk buttons and insecurity buttons as much as he possibly can. He's constantly needling at Vox's insecurities to keep him away from a calm state. Vox can't rest in himself. He can't be comfortable. He can't be confident that things are going to go well. He can't feel good about himself because he's constantly in a situation where it's like, this fucking little bratty twink-ass motherfucker who's tied up on my chair keeps fucking, I need to prove that little shit wrong, right? Like, I need to fucking show him who's boss. I need to assert myself. It's a bottom who's topping, right? It's a brat who's topping his top because he's doming his top. He's taking control of the relationship. Right? Alastor's in the driving seat of determining what Vox's emotional state is allowed to be. And it's a seduction, right? Like, it's fully, and it's toxic as fuck, by the way. It's this, if you ever encounter someone who does that, who like constantly keeps you in an emotionally aroused state all the time and never lets you calm the fuck down, that's a red flag. That's, you think very carefully about that. That's because that can be fun for a bit, but it's not going to stay fun forever. So stay away from that if you can. Not a good thing in a relationship. A relationship should be able to be restful. And Vox here cannot rest one moment. He has to constantly, I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. Look at this graph. This graph says I'm better than you, I'm better than you, I'm better than you. You have to see that I'm better than you. You have to see it. You have to recognize it. And Alastor, just by not recognizing it, just by refusing to give Vox the validation. Still, if that's all. You think they could have pulled this off without me? Yes, right. Like, that's what he's making him think. And immediately causing a break, right? Like, immediately by triggering Vox's insecurity, Val with all of 5 brain cells, right? Like, Val is not a visionary. We all know this, but Val doesn't like to be told that. And in this moment, Vox forgets that because he's more fixated on, like, no, I have vision. I'm the greatest. And anyone else who says they're good at something, yeah, fuck you. I'm me. I'm the visionary. And Val doesn't like that. Again, the toxicity of this is what Alastor's doing is he's isolating Vox from his social connections, right? He's isolating Vox from other people. He's making him drive other friends out of his life and push them away. Again, toxic as shit. If you ever get into a situation with someone who does that, who causes you to be your worst self around other people and like damage your other relationships, run, bad, red flag, very red flag, real big red flag with antlers and a monocle. And it's literally, you can see it here, right? Like, Vox is so focused on Alastor that he completely ignores the very obvious, like, hey, your partner isn't happy with you right now. Yeah, whatever. Wave him off. Oh, you're so fucking dumb, Vox. And this should be the moment when he realizes, oh, Alastor is playing me. But instead, this is the moment where he goes, no, Alastor is still not respecting me. Why isn't he respecting me? Okay, I need to prove that on the stage myself. I don't need anyone else. So you, backstage, go away. I need to be on stage and be the big man. And Valentino, in a moment of profound hypocrisy, doesn't like it when someone else smacks his ass condescendingly. Oh, now it's not fun anymore, is it? Now you don't enjoy it? Now it's not cool? Aw, poor baby. It's delicious, though. Like the Radio Static shippers, this is their season. I thought maybe it would be the Radio Apples. But this is the Radio Static season pretty clearly. That's fucking God, Vox, you moron. Oh my God. Anyway, where were we? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hey, Anubis. Oh, okay, okay. We're name dropping her. Resist what exactly? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, Lucifer. Oh no. Oh, 3, 2, 1, pause. Vox already knows. He already knows that Lucifer can't touch him. Fuck. Okay, well, all right. That explains something about why he was not scared of Lucifer at all. Well, God damn. Oh no, Lucifer. Again, it's this thing of communication, right? Where Vaggie is like, oh, I know how to fix the problem with Vox. So she goes off and does that on her own. And Charlie's like, Archangels, okay, cool. Now we can go fix the problem with Vox. And then she goes and does that on her own. And now this shit is just gonna absolutely fucking crash into each other. In a genuinely hilarious way. I will say, Lucifer puts on a good show. Like man does know how to aura farm. It's just, you know. He undercuts himself a little bit with some of the sillier shit. Oh, the animators had fun with his wings here. And again, the tail, we've talked about this so many times, but like having a big swoopy tail to help you accentuate the motions of a character like this in the air. Look at this shit. This is horny right here. At least to like animation freak like me, this shit is pure sex. Look at this. The secondary motion, right? Like we use the tail to emphasize the arc of the downwards motion here. Fully going squash and stretch, you can see Lucifer being stretched out into the landing, right? Like, we're not acting with gravity here at all. Gravity, fuck gravity. We're doing Coyote time all the way. It's all cartoon gravity, right? Like, where it only applies and only kicks in when a character decides that it does, and we justify that because Lucifer can fly. And the landing here, right? Because he's landing on this flexible thing, right? Like this giving under his weight. and the impact. And they really get mileage out of the wings for this one. Look at that. Like, how much fucking... just the fucking porn they put into the way the wings handle that secondary... Oh, look at that shit. Those big curves collapsing into this one set of shapes down and then, like, up. Really, really emphasizing it. And all of that, like, all of that momentum and sense of weight leading into... Lucifer pulling his out. This is what it is. Like, it because he is trying to, like, be cock of the walk, right? But he's trying to... it's dick measuring. And it's not gonna work because Vox already knows. Flashing light warning here, by the way. Yeah, look at those differential animation timings. Everything animated on 3s, but every single frame, something is animated, so you get that beautiful smoothness to it. Some effects animators doing brilliant work. Here as well. Again, this is the kind of thing where you have to fucking shout the compositors out like a million times, because in order for this shit, all of this shit, Lucifer on the screen, crowd in the foreground, we have the stages. Vox needs to be visible against the backdrop of the stage that he's on. All this fucking neon light, all of these fucking lighting effects, the windows blowing out. And same with when there's all this fucking effect. Like, Lucifer has this glow around him, right? Like, entire. And then that's interacting with the glow from, like, the eyes and the glow from things. And then we have him cast this little spell, and that spell propagates light out across his form as well. And the spell itself is a bunch of lighting effects. This is compositors. Like, this is... the animators put all the shit together. The background artists, the lighting artists, put all of the assets together. The reason they look good as a whole image, that's the compositor. If the compositor is not on the ball for shit like this, it looks bad. And you can tell immediately that it looks bad. And it's gonna look real bad. But the compositors are on the fucking ball. They also handle a lot of like color correction and making sure that characters feel like they fit into the environments that they're in and that they show up against them correctly. Jesus Christ, the animator's doing such a good job of managing his wings. They're using the wings as part of the rhythm of the choreography. Right? But they're offset from... in a way that, like, makes him, like, dance in the air. And again, the tail is being used to really emphasize that swing back. Fucking hell. Who animated this? Motherfucker. I owe you a drink or something. Because, like, that's a lot of fucking limbs, man. That's a lot of fucking... it's not just animating the character. You have to animate the wings in such a way that they accentuate and work with the gesture that Lucifer himself is doing without muddying it. And you fucking glowing eyes, bullshit. Again, this is the thing of, like, Viv Medrano's character design, she is an animator, right? Like, she knows how to design characters that are, like fun and expressive and interesting to animate, but they're also fucking complicated. There's also so much fucking shit going on. Like, besides just managing Lucifer himself, he's got the hat with the serpent wrapped around it, and the fucking little apple on the front, and the crown, and all that bullshit, and the hat has secondary motion on it. The hat is responding to his motions, and it has to, like, work with his silhouette behind the fucking 9-mile devil horns. And again, the lighting artists are helping so much here with those edge lights. Like, they're really using that to draw the eye and emphasize, like, work with the volume of the motion that he's doing. Like, fuck me running, man. That... How long must that have... This one shot of just Lucifer... And also because we're doing fucking pushing into camera bullshit, foreshortening, and pushing him back out. How long must this one shot have taken some poor motherfucker to have to animate? God, I want to see the progress sketches on this shit. I want to see the storyboard. I want to see the rough sketches, the keyframes. I want to see the cleanup. I want to see what the in-betweeners were doing. And I want the fucking compositor. Like, maybe not on this shot, but I fucking want the compositor shot on this whole sequence. Fuck me, man. That is really impressive animation. And it's like, it's animated on 2s the whole way, right? Yeah, 2s, and then it swoops into animating on 1s. Like, for this little bit here, for, like, little bits of it, when they want the motion to be particularly smooth, like here. They hop from 2s to 1s whenever they need a little bit more smoothness on the motion. God, that must have taken a long fucking time. Oy. Jesus Christ. I should... Have I explained this in the past many videos? I should explain it just in case someone is watching this who hasn't heard me go through the spiel before. Animating on 1s, 2s, and 3s, right? Video generally plays back at 24 frames per second, or 30, depending on where you're watching it. If you're animating every single frame, right? If every single frame there's a new drawing, that's animating on 1s, because you're animating every one frame. If you're animating on 2s, you're animating every other frame, because you're animating every 2 frames, and then on 3s and on 4s and so on and so forth, right? Most Disney movies, like, they will, like, most animation productions nowadays especially, like, will swap between different animation timings depending on the needs of the production. But, like, you're watching an old Disney movie, a lot of that shit happens on 2s, right? Like, it happens on 2s, occasionally on 1s, for very, like, high quality. And same thing with Ghibli movies, they'll operate in like 2s and 1s a lot of the time, with occasional dips down to 3s, maybe 4s for something that's a background element or whatever. But it's a tool animators use. Like, the animation timing that you choose to work with, obviously, animating on 1s takes the most work because you have to draw the most drawings. Animating on 2s takes half that work. Animating on 3s cuts down like a further 25%, like, and so on. Like, the fewer frames of animation, the easier it is to do, but the choppier and the worse it looks. So there is this constant tension, this push and pull in every animation production, where the animators, being freaks and weirdos, the lot of them, absolute fucking lunatics, and that's me saying this. Animators are weirdos. They're freaks. Brackets affectionate. Brackets good. If you give animators enough time to do whatever the fuck they want, they'll animate everything on 1s, right? Like, they'll just do that because that's what they're like. Right? They'll animate shit on 1s if you let them get away with it. Because they like to noodle over that shit. A lot of them, not all of them. Animators are different. They're different people. But the production part of the job of the producer, the production coordinator, like the animation coordinators, and all of the people in management and project planning, their job is to make the animators stop animating at some point, right? To say, hey, don't animate this shit on 1s. How about this sequence here? We keep it on 2s and 3s. How about this, like, and there's a lot of production coordination that goes into lead animators and, like, production leads coordinating all of the animators so that they're spending the appropriate amount of time animating a given sequence, right? Like, animating a given character, working with full animation versus limited animation. That's the other thing to talk about, full versus limited animation. What Lucifer is doing here is full animation. It's called full animation because every time some shit happens, you can see it's the whole frame, the whole drawing of Lucifer is being redrawn each time. There's a bunch of copy pasting probably happening in the animation software and, like, onion skinning and all that shit to reduce the amount of work, but he's fully animated on every frame. Every time he moves, it's full animation, right? That's the hardest kind of animation. Again, old school Disney movies, that's the kind of animation you get. Then there's limited animation, which is what you often see with, like, dialogue scenes where a character is standing mostly still, but their lips are moving. we're only animating a limited part of the character. That's limited animation. That's a way to save on budget. Again, production coordinators and like producers and like lead animators, part of their job is to make sure that the animators that are working on a given shot, on a given sequence, are using the appropriate tools and spending the appropriate amount of budget on this part of the scene, on this part of the project, right? So that you don't get scenes where everyone's over animated and there's way too much happening, and you get other scenes where no one's like, so that there's a smooth gradient of quality, right? And this is something when you watch seasonal anime, right? You can often spot that at the start of the season, all the episodes look very impressive, and that the first episode of a given season of whatever, it's animated really well and impressive effects and shit like that. Then you get like to the halfway point of the season, or a little past the halfway point, and all of a sudden it's like, this is a lot more like a slideshow than the first few episodes were. And then for the final episode of a season, like they'll kick the animation budget up a notch and like try and do a massive blowout at the end. But that's where that comes from. That comes from anime productions often being very rushed, often being quite poorly coordinated, and trying their best to put their animation budget in whatever places they think will make the most difference to people picking up the show and sticking with it. And that's part of the job of animation coordinators, right? And on shows with better animation production and shows with better scheduling and like less horribly crunched working conditions than in the anime industry, what you can get is something like Has Been Hotel, where you can definitely tell there's a difference in animation quality from episode to episode depending on the needs. Episode 4 had all of the animation budget for the fight scenes, and episode 3 mostly character dialogue and things like that, and they didn't really go quite as hard in the paint with the animation. That's the production coordinator's job. That's the producer. That's like, these are the people who do the scheduling to make sure that the scenes that need more animation have access to those resources, and the ones that we can kind of get away with doing limited animation and doing it on threes and like maybe shoving some shit in the background or panning over some wide shots or whatever, that budget is saved on those sequences. And it's an invisible part of the work. I know I've completely gone away from talking about anything that's fucking happening in the show, but it's an invisible part of the work of animation, is to have someone who can be able to plan this shit out so that when a whole episode comes out, the episode feels consistent. So that when a whole season comes out, the season feels consistent, right? And that's not trivial. That's fucking hard. Like, I've seen the kinds of spreadsheets that fucking animation production coordinators and people like that have to work with, and they are nightmarish. The number of meetings these poor people have to attend, good grief, maddening. But because they do their job well, on Has Been Hotel Season 2 here especially, we get shit like this for me to cream my pants over for 45 minutes. Because someone in the production like system was like, this shot of Lucifer, when he's doing his little dance for this bit here, this needs some extra juice. Let's make sure like an animator is available who has the time and like the ability to really fucking flex their shit on this one. And oh my goodness, didn't they just? I want a zoomed in. This is such low quality for this. I want a high. Give me the 4K version of this. I want to zoom in so I can see this properly. Again, absolute sex with the fucking wings, man. Beautiful key poses. Hero work from the colorists as well. That little move right there, this one, right? Like when Lucifer is retreating back into the background, the animator is not really doing anything there. That's not the animator doing anything. That is compositing, right? Like that's a compositor doing the work of, okay, we need Lucifer to retreat from the foreground to deeper in the background, so we need him to get smaller. We need that to look reasonably natural so that it works with the final shot. Compositor. Some compositor is largely responsible for that shit working. I talked in earlier episodes about, I thought it was quite clever that most of the time when the Seraphim are flying, right, that instead of animating their wings realistically, instead of animating their wings like flapping like bird wings, they do these little wave motions through the wings to just kind of imply a flight motion, but without really committing to the physics of it. this whole sequence with Lucifer, that's why I'm getting so fucking turned up on the wings, is this whole sequence with Lucifer. It's not realistic, right? Like it's not like real bird wings work this way, but they are doing much more naturalistic bird wing motion where the wings are wrapping around and like acting as a part of his volume. And doing that shit and making it work without interfering with his key posing is just... go fuck yourself. Who the fuck did this? You asshole, you monster. God damn, and with the little fucking flick of the tail as well, just to really fucking sell it home. Like, look at this key pose. That's such a good key pose. And then again, compositor, hugely responsible for this shot working, but fuck you. The rotation shot at the same time, where we have Vox, right? Like, Vox is a bitch and a half to rotate around because he's got the TV head, he's got the wedge ass with Medrano body, he's got all that shit going. That's an issue in and of itself. But then, on top of that, we're not just gonna have TV Man on his little turntable here. No. We're gonna have fucking Lucifer with his big long tail and the big swoops and all of the bullshit. Just circling that bitch. Oh, look at that. And we're really animating key to key here, like, because we're really using that sort of build and snap of tension, right? Like where he comes down and then he lingers here, and we're building tension, and then snap, he snaps to another position, right? Snaps to another thing, and then we're building tension, snap to another position, snap to, like, this rhythm that's in there, which is like presumably, hang on, let me just play that back with sound. Yep, and they're synchronizing that shit too. They're synchronizing it with a... So scheme all you want, Mr. TV Hatman. They're synchronizing it with the beats, with the rhythm, with the motion of the music as well. Because fuck you, that's why. Fuck off. God damn. And just managing those fucking wings through a 3D section like this. Like a three-dimensional rotation shot, like the animator doing the rotation shot, underappreciated by me because I'm distracted by Captain Flaps a lot over here, but still. And managing that shit, again, the compositor doing hero work in choosing to blur and unblur Lucifer, depending on where he is in the focus. Again, the compositor, like, I cannot praise the compositor enough for this shot either, because getting all of these elements to work together and feel coherent in the same space is... And we're zooming in also. That's the other fucking thing. Is like, it's not just we're rotating. We're doing the fucking piano thing again, where we're not just rotating, we're zooming in at the same time. So we're fucking animating Vox getting bigger in frame as well, which also has to be coordinated with the background motion. And Lucifer, and it's... Oh, yeah, fuck off. Oh, get to fuck. Like, god damn you. Yeah. See, because, like, the rational thing to do for a shot like this, if you were not an insane person, would be make Vox a 3D model, right? That would be the rational thing to do, right? It's like, do a really nice 3D model of Vox, put some really nice, like, line shaders on it, correct it manually frame by frame, but, like, don't fucking try and animate. But you can see the lines moving. You can see the inconsistencies of the hand, because all hands are inconsistent. Some motherfucker, and they must have had 3D reference for this. Like, again, presumably to make this shot, they had like a 3D model of Vox, like a mock-up 3D model. They modeled the 3D camera move, and then the animator was using that heavily as a reference or rotoscoping material in order to make this work, because doing that completely manually by hand would be insane work for freaks. Absolute fucking... You can't do that. You can't just... If Vox was a 3D model, you wouldn't see that, right? This wobble. So it's not all rotoscope. It's... Oh my god. What a fucking shot. What a fucking shot. The more I look at it, every time I fucking look at this again, I see another fucking thing. Just the way the animator's handling the foreshortening into camera here, too. And those big, big fucking appealing, beautiful, like, swooping, curving arcs of motion, just using that tail for all it's worth to smooth that motion and that movement out and really make it flow. Just god damn you to hell. I need to talk to a therapist about this. This can't be a normal reaction to animation. Yeah, look at that. Like, just that little move of just bending him into it and then, like, obscure the whole thing with wings so we don't have to really deal with the weirdness of the legs that are mostly just, like, flat 2D, flat black thing. We just kind of hide it, and we can sort of we cheat that to camera a little bit so we don't have to worry too much about it in this, like, little transitional phase. And then once we hit the next key pose, like, the next sort of, like, the next stop, that's when we really sort of, like, you can see him being stretched and compressed back together. Really letting him be the serpent. Fuck off. God damn it. Okay, sorry, hang on. Okay. I need to pull myself away from this. I'm hypnotizing myself. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, we're still singing. Okay. Oh, really? Okay, you're just gonna say it. Okay. Vox Populi, Vox Dei, really? Manifest destiny. Oh, we're rotating again because yeah, fuck off. 3, 2, 1, pause. Oh dear. Oh, the timing. They're just gonna say make hell great again. Okay, yeah, sure, right. Little Lucifer, I call him little because he's short. Little Lucifer, couldn't fly, has to have 6 wings, couldn't fly with 2. Couldn't fly with 2 wings because he's little, he's small, he's weak, folks. He's a weak leader. They did another rotating shot just to fuck with me. This is personal at this point. It's a vendetta. They're trying to test me. They're trying to see. They're trying to wear me out, exhaust me. They're weakening me. Trying to steal my energy, but I will fucking prevail. You motherfuckers, I can do this longer than you. He's invoking Lilith a lot all of a sudden. Because he's not just trying to replace Lucifer, he's trying to replace her. Right? Her place is the one that he's trying to... Like, it's the voice thing. Lilith has the special power to empower demons through her voice, insofar as we heard from the intro of the first season. He's trying to be the people's voice. He's trying to be the voice of hell, which is what Lilith is. So he's trying to replace Lucifer and Lilith. Captain Cult Leader. Oh, is that... Valentino. 9 10s and an 8 for diversity. I guess that's her. How does she look any worse? Okay, well. I'm just inferring that because she's the only one who looks different than the others. Here you can see the compositor doing their work, right? Here we go from stage with no light to stage has lights now. Boop. So notice a thing about the dancers also. I want to see if that's consistent. Okay, not in the wide shots. Okay, in the wide shots, they're all mechanistic, which is to say the dancers are all moving perfectly together. But once we get into these shots here, you can see how the animator is deliberately pacing one of them a little tiny, like literally 1 frame off from the others. And I think she's also... Yeah, it's actually fully unique animation, isn't it? Yeah. The rest of the dancers here are copy-pasted by the looks of it. In the sense it's the same animation being repeated multiple times and like running on exactly the same timing and cycle, right? And then this one here is animated separately and has a slightly different movement, a slightly different timing. And that's just there to prevent them from looking too much like they're moving on clockwork, right? It's again there to just create that little sense of organic smoothness when things are in full motion. Because that's another thing about animation timings. Like, when you're animating on 2s and 3s and 4s and so on, you offset things, right? You animate 2 things on 2s, well, one of them happens every frame 1 and 3, the other one happens 2 and 4, right? And you've switched them back and forth to get that smoothness in there. Because... and this is one of the things that can be a problem when animating on 1s or indeed 2s. If everything you're animating on 2s is moving on exactly the same frame timing everywhere all the time, you can end up with a scene that looks very clockwork, right? Like where things don't really look natural because everything is moving on exactly the same timing. This is the effect you get when you watch old, like the old Merry Melodies, the old Disney, like Merry Melodies and Silly Symphonies, where it's these you get this opening shot, right? Like where you get this shot of a scene and everyone's doing something. It's like all the little ants are moving things around, or people are working in a workshop or whatever, and the whole frame is moving and everything's happening all the time, but everyone moves at the same fucking timing, right? So it looks very clockwork. It looks very mechanical rather than naturalistic. And offsetting animation timings like this can be a part of a way to make sure that a frame doesn't feel too stiff, right? Also, what the fuck is that thing? No, give me another look at that fucking orchestra band, whatever. Because that's like a big fucking bird, whatever. And I think that's like a bird, and then that's a mushroom, I guess, over there. But what the fuck is that? What on God's green? Well, I guess not God. What in Satan's red, Lucifer's red hell? Okay, so that does seem to be intentional, because the thing I was looking for is, yeah, she's dancing. She's the one dancing out of sync with the others. Like all the other dancers here, all the tens, I guess, are all perfectly in sync, and they're moving with Vox. And then she's just a little bit out of step. So clearly that is intentional. They're not going to do a thing where she gets killed because she wasn't dancing good enough or something. Look at that little... Look at him swing his hips like that, like he thinks the... First of all, buddy, you've got no ass and no hips. What are you trying to do here, buddy? There's nothing to swing. Yeah, stick figure. Trying to have swagger, but has absolutely nothing to throw around. Isn't that just the Vox story? Much like Lucifer, again, using the coattails to really sort of help sell the back and forth. Superhero landing. Oh, he's feeling himself. He really is. Oh, he's feeling himself. You can see the dominance display, right? He's pushing into Lucifer's space. He's towering over him, crowding him into the corner, constraining him. It's good cinematography. More offset animation timings, right? Dancers move. The two of them move. Orchestra moves on its own timings, presumably to match the music. This must have been a nightmare to core, because that's a lot of fucking animation that has to happen. And it's a lot of fucking animation that has to coordinate and frame. Again, production staff animation directors absolutely fucking crucial for putting a shot like this together and making sure everyone who's working on the various bits of this shot are like managing their timings correctly. Oh, there she is. And Vox is, yeah, no, yeah, okay, cool. It's so cruel. Good lord. I'm starting to think he's kind of a bad person, honestly. Oh, hey, that's the thing. That's the logo for like the living tombstone, right? That's that thing. We saw it at the hotel in episode 1. Hey, baby, don't show me what that mouth do. I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm good, thanks. I'm okay. I'm just enjoying the background character designs. So it's just a fucking guitar. That's okay. Yeah, sure. Excellent. Man, it's just a wealth of OCs. And again, plugging my own video essay again, it's what I talked about in that essay partly is like so much of Has Been Hotel sensibility has that vibe, right? Like this is people's fucking it's Tumblr sexy mans and people's enthusiastic teenage OCs, right? And like that's something that turns a lot of people off the show, and I completely understand why, because it is objectively speaking a fucking cringe fest, right? Like it is a bunch of shit that's way over enthusiastic, right? Like that's way too sort of stuck in this headcanon of own lore that it's unwilling to explain to anyone else through design, right? It's very me, right? It's teenage coded, right? In a way that's like, again, I don't say cringe necessarily as a bad thing, but that's what it is. Like that's the space that this design style comes from, and like it is some of the most human. Like it is, to me, so much of this is the antidote to, I was about to say corporate art, but like, let's be real, it's made by A24 and Amazon. No matter how you slice it, Has Been Hotel is a piece of corporate art. There's kind of no way around that. But it's so much the antidote to like design by committee, right? It feels so much like an antidote to shit like shit that gets put through Disney's standards and practices department, right? Of all the like the stakeholders and the censors whose job it is to say no to almost everything and optimize everything for maximal, like the maximal commercial viability and all that shit. It feels like the opposite. It feels like the opposite of the character design of Concord, right? If anyone remembers that fucking video game, Concord, that came out for 5 minutes and then immediately got pulled off the market, which had some of the most rancidly boring, tedious, like absolute non-design for its characters that has ever existed in the world. This feels like the opposite of that. Like the pure antidote to that shit is this, because it is so joyously self-indulgent, right? And that comes with a bunch of problems. It comes with a bunch of issues, right? Like it's a trade-off, right? Like it's not a completely faultless thing. But I'll take a million fucking cringe-ass Tumblr OC character designs like this over even like a dozen fucking Concord character designs any day. Like this shit, I will, I'll eat this shit up for decades before I get excited for another League of Legends champion, right? It's because no matter how you slice it, this feels like it's something that comes from someone. It feels like it comes from a person, right? Rather than it came from an optimized design process designed by a fucking McKinsey consultant or whatever. Look at Lucifer's body language this whole time, too. Because, like, the moment Vox turns his attention to him, Lucifer's like, wait, hang on, what's happening right now? And you can see how much that, like, starts to push on him and get to him. And the problem is Vox has a little bit of a point, right? This king thinks all of us peasants, yeah, Lou, you kind of do. You said so yourself. You think sinners are gross and icky, and you don't want anything to do with them because you think yourself very far above them. You've kind of given Vox the ammo there, buddy, by squandering your responsibility and your power. Again, you got trapped in hell alone with a bunch of sinners that you can't hurt. But there is a way to get rid of them if you don't want to have them around. You could have been redeeming them this whole time, Lou. You could have been. 10,000 years of not doing shit. So, like, Vox is an asshole, and he certainly should not be given power over hell. But Lucifer has a responsibility for putting Vox in a position where he can take advantage of this shit. Like, when you have theoretically well-meaning leaders who don't use their power to make anything better for anyone, you sort of make Vox inevitable. It's like, at some point, Vox is going to come along and take advantage of that shit, and then all of a sudden you've got fascism in hell. It's the kind of shit that's been known to happen occasionally in history. That's a smooth little walk. Again, here you can see the compositor doing a bunch of the work, right? You can see that as the camera's moving, Vox is getting bigger in frame, even when he's not actively walking towards Lucifer, even when he's like, at this point, that foot hasn't left the ground. He's growing. You can see him being slowly scaled up. And again, that's the compositor doing the work of making the walk towards Lucifer feel smooth. Right? Doing that last little, like, 5% from where the animator left the animation in order to make this work with, like, a push out in the camera. And also so that, like, the frame, again, so that as Vox is accusing and pointing and moving towards Lucifer, he's growing and growing and growing, and Lucifer looks smaller and smaller, so that we're emphasizing, we're supporting that dominance, right? Like, that Vox has control, dominance over the narrative. That little, I'm done with this flourish. Oh, Lou, if only it was that easy. But again, the fucking animator is just handling the physicality of those wings. Like, bringing the wings into the swoop, right? As Lou makes the turn. Oof. Very good. Yeah, that's Val. Val, you can't fucking, like, you are barely thicker than Vox, Val. You don't have shit to throw around either, boy. Like stop pretending. Stop pretending there's an ass there. You don't have cheeks. What are you doing? Another nice little touch. Offset animation timings on the dancers again to smooth out that big cheer. Oh, good. Okay, right. Now let's see how things are about to go even more hilariously wrong. 3, 2, 1, go. Again, he's not wrong is the problem. The problem is he's not wrong about that. Are you about to press the Atom button? Press the Atom button. Oh no. 3, 2, 1, pause. Why is Loot there? Why would you bring her? Also, someone animated that face. Look at that. That's almost Don Bluthian. Like, look at the fucking use of the eyebrow. That's, Jesus, that's a lot. I was half kidding. No, that is Don Bluthian, actually. That is kind of... The use of eyebrows. Like, the use of like, the... You can see that, like, that moving volume under the eye... between the eyelid and the eyebrow. And, like, the collapsing... That is fully on some fucking Disney shit. What the fuck? That's... Oh my god. That is Disney animation. That is fully... That's someone who's trained in the old ways doing that. What the hell? This has some... There's something about the way they're handling There's something about the way they're handling the facial animation here that really puts me in mind of Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Maybe some of the work of the DreamWorks folks. This feels like someone who studied that. Like that little that little slight turn in, right? Where you can see Lute's nose ridge begin to assert itself as she's like that, making that. This is a very Disney. It's very old school. Who did this? Because that's a very different style of... Like, you see Lute's facial animation in the speaking there, right? Relative to how they handle Emily just a second later, right? Right? That's a very fucking different way to handle life. And it's intentional, right? Like, that we're really emphasizing Lute close up talking to Vox there. But this is... Who did this? I need to know who the key animator was on this specifically. is really old school. Who was that? Oh, goddamn. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, go. Again, it's a reasonable question that you guys should maybe have thought about a little harder. Not that Vox gives a shit, right? Like, yeah, I mean, again, it's like, sorry, you don't have a counter argument. Oh my god. Oh boy, Sarah. Sarah, no. Sarah, no. Oh god. Oh, wow. Oh boy. Oh my god. Okay. 3, 2, 1, pause. I know it's annoying to pause right at the start of a song, but again, that's the problem, right? Like, he's not wrong. It's the problem. That's the really difficult problem to deal with, is that he's not wrong on the facts. He's just wrong on, everything else. It's like, yeah, why would any of them forgive you, right? If you come down there with gift baskets and say sorry, that's the start, but that's not, like, your atonement is not commensurate to the shit you did on purpose that you did, which was you doing this on purpose. You did it. This is your responsibility. And it's not, they're not fucking holding back on it either, right? Like, it's not funny kiddie violence either. Oh, hey, look who's hanging out in the background here again. Like, it's walls with barbed wire and public executions. This fucking bitch! She's just like, oh yeah, that was fun. That was a good Thursday. Oh my god. Loot! Can you not keep a poker face for 2 seconds? Oh, she sucks so bad. But no, she can't. When Charlie finds out that it was Vaggie who set Lucifer off to do this, they're gonna have a fight. I don't think it's gonna be a... Ooh, that's gonna be a nasty one. And hopefully Vaggie will have the wherewithal to tell Charlie some important things that she needs to hear, but... And again, it's like, it's so much a fucking grave of their own making, right? It's... Welcome to the bed you made, Sarah. It's the bed you made. Because, like, this is also another thing to consider. Hey, who do you think is most likely to get wiped out in an extermination in hell? Who do you think is most likely to get fucked over, to get killed? Who do you think is most likely to be the victims? Probably the ones who are the least willing to do violence to protect themselves. Probably the ones who are most vulnerable, who are slowest, who are least physically capable, right? Who are least used to violence, who are most likely to freeze up in the face of violence. Probably you killed off all the gentle souls. You probably killed off a lot of those, leaving behind, you know, the people who are hardened by this horror. And who have very little to exactly fucking 0.none reason, first of all, to trust you right now because of the way you showed up. It is condescending, right? It's, again, it's privilege. These angel dipshits from heaven live in a world where you can just sort of say sorry with a gift basket, right? Because they all live in heaven where there are no problems, right? So everything can be solved by just kind of being vaguely nice at each other. And poor Emily, again, Emily doesn't have a frame of reference for any of this, right? She doesn't have an understanding of just how fucking bad this is. She has no way to understand it, which is why she thinks gift baskets, like, okay, because they have no frame of reference for how bad it is down here, for how much pain and suffering that they have caused, whether by action, loot, or inaction, or silent complicity. They have no frame of reference for it. And because they have no frame of reference, they can't communicate, right? Like, they can't speak to these people in a way that will reach them because they have no idea just how much pain there is down here. They have no frame of reference for it, right? They live in different worlds of meaning. As like, it's like, oh, poor baby Emily, right? Like, she wanted to do the right thing, but she just doesn't. She just simply does not have the tools. And again, she is heaven, Charlie. Charlie, for exactly the same reasons, also doesn't have the tools, right? Because she also has never really experienced this kind of suffering. She's closer to it. She understands it better, but she's never experienced it, right? She also has these very naive, sheltered ideas about pain and violence and sin and hurt, which prevents her from reaching people, right? Like, that's like Charlie constantly pushing people away from trying the Hazbin Hotel because she comes up to them with like trust fall exercises and let's sit down and talk about our feelings, when it's like, these people probably are in the like, the ones who want redemption are probably in the throes of like deep shame for shit like Serpentius failing to stop the murder of an innocent woman, right? And thus facilitating the murder of 5 others, or Angel having whatever the fuck's going on with his dad, right, that he killed. And you can't approach that by going, let's all sit down and share our feelings as a first step, because that feels deeply condescending, right? That feels like you're not taking the pain seriously at all. And it is like, it's that painful sheltering privilege, right? That cuts these people off from understanding each other. From sharing an experience, right? Sharing a reality. It's ugh. And that's not an easy fix. Like, there isn't really. I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, there was a simple solution to that they all should just have done years ago. Like, there isn't really a simple solution to that. It's the solution is a very long process of communication and listening. Something which Charlie has trouble doing, something which Hell is unwilling to do. And also, Emily doesn't seem to have even understood just how bad the exterminations were. thousands of people died in the extermination. She's not seen this when she comes down there. She knows the exterminations happened, but she didn't know that it was this. She doesn't know that it's that bad. Again, which is why she has no frame of reference, which is why she has no way to comprehend how grim and how traumatizing and violent this shit all is. And you can see that it's Emily being distressed and being afraid that triggers Sarah, right, to regress, right? And become the hottest she's ever been in the series. But you can see that it's like Emily feeling threatened, right? Emily being afraid. Sarah jumps into this thing of like, well, I am responsible. I have to be protector. I have to solve the problem. And she becomes a fucking dragon, right? Like, well, I know it's bird more than dragon, but there's something draconic about this, right? Like, she becomes this imperious, floating, deeply inhuman presence. Not that there's a lot of humans in hell generally, because they're all, you know, weird furries and stuff, but you can see that Sarah retreats from her humanity into this, right? Like, fuck being human, fuck being accountable, fuck being, I am a deity, I am a god, I am above you, right? And she gives Vox exactly the soundbite that he needs. Okay, well, this is all going to be very depressing. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, really? Furor. You're really just gonna... And he imitates. Oh my god. Oh, you motherfuckers. Three, two, one, pause. Jesus fucking Christ. You are testing me, you motherfuckers. It is wonderfully consistent with Vox. The shark tail coat also, yeah. It is wonderfully consistent with Vox that he is an imitator, right? He seeks to step into the powers of other people, right? So he's been desperately imitating Alastor, right? Like, we know this. He was trying to, like, replace Lilith and Lucifer by, like, calling on their, like, invoking Lilith's name, stepping in front of Lucifer, like, to sort of take his place. And now, when he's challenging an angel, he copies them as well. He's copying an angel, right? Like, he's literally imitating Sarah now. He's this constant imitator, constantly pretending at power, constantly pretending to be other people, to take their place, to step into their place. Which, again, like, very solid for a character whose primary character trait is insecurity, right? Like, Vox populi vox Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Of course they were going to pull that one. Yeah. But also that he literally says... they're using a homonym, right? I'm the Furor, right? Like, I'm the Fury. But he says Führer. He says Führer. Like, he is ein fucking Hitler, ja. Das ist ein Hitler. Das ist ein Hitler. Literally, like... And I gotta say, like, I appreciate them not pulling the punch there, that this episode, Vox is like, hey, by the way, I'm a Donald Trump reference, and I'm the Führer. Like, I'm Donald Trump and I'm a Nazi, right? Like, it's... They're drawing that parallel, that comparison very directly. And I do appreciate that they're saying, yeah, no, like Captain Orange Dick up in the White House, yeah, he's a Nazi. He is a modern day fascist. Like, that they're being very clear about making that comparison. I do appreciate that, like, because if Has-Been Hotel didn't have the nuts to take that kind of a swing, that would weaken the show a lot, I think. And it's that thing, right? Like, oh my fucking god, this shot. Jesus fucking Christ. I am the nightmare you made when you spilled our blood. It's like, yeah, unfortunately, he's not wrong, is the problem. Right? He's morally wrong, and he's a piece of shit, and he shouldn't be given any power to do any fucking thing, because he's using the truth to perpetuate violence, right? Like, he's not using the truth to solve the problem that he's describing. He's not using it to solve anything or make anything better. He's just using it to, like, empower himself. But it's like, yeah, you went down there and you fucking murdered people. You murdered people's families right in front of their eyes. And you did it for 7 years, I guess. I thought maybe 10,000, but, 7 years is plenty. And now here are the consequences, right? Here's the shit that's gonna happen when you do that. And you don't fix anything about it. And you don't have any meaningful, useful approach. Again, if the first thing Sarah had done, if thing number one that Sarah had done was talk to Charlie, talk to Pentious, figure out, okay, redemption is possible. We need to get this going. We need to get this going now. We need sinners to be redeemed yesterday, right? If she'd done that, then this wouldn't have happened, right? If she had actually taken material, direct, specific steps to make the lives of people in hell better, to make the world better, to undo some small fraction of the damage that was done. If she'd done that, none of this would have been possible. Vox wouldn't have been able to pull this fucking scheme. But she didn't. She pulled back, she isolated, and she got obsessed with her own absolution and stuck in her own feelings, rather than thinking about what do I need to do with the power that I have that will meaningfully, usefully improve the world for other people than me. Everything here was preventable, right? All of it. Like, in the first instance, by not doing a fucking genocide. Like, let's start there. But even once that ship has sailed, there's still, like, it's never too late to make a better world. It just isn't. Also, Vox literally calls himself an Omega, which... Omegas are the because the alphas are like the stereotypical tops, right? They're the ones with the pheromones and the breeding thing. And then the omegas are the ones that get bred, right? So he's literally saying he's breedable. Okay, yeah, well, do with that what thou wilt. Okay, so here's another shot that I'm very curious, because they definitely, by the time we get to this shot, these are fucking, the screens, all that floating shit, that has to be 3D models. There's literally no way in hell, ha ha ha, that the screens are not 3D models here. And I would imagine that a lot of the wiring coming out of Vox, oh, maybe not actually. No, the wiring isn't. The wiring is hand animated. Fuck off! Fuck off! What? Fuck off! How about the shark? Well, it's not really doing much. It's not really moving much. No, okay, they're just kind of cheating that one to camera. Okay, so the shark is less... God damn, but still, this fucking shot. Holy fucking shit. Flashing light warnings once again, of course. So it's not just that Vox does a little move, like where the wings flex, right? It's not just that the wings flex. It's the secondary motion of it. You can see it. You can see the waves of it perpetuate out, and there's secondary motion, there's settling motion from like the various screens and from the wires themselves as they settle into position. Like, you get that real sense of, like, elasticity and weight from the way that they move. God, that's good. This shot of the fucking shark, though, Jesus Christ. That's a complicated fucking thing to have to... Like, the shark is absolutely, again, thinking of Atlantis the Lost Empire, like, they animated the fucking submarine with 3D, right? Like, they animated the submarine and the sea monster with 3D because, like, you don't want to do that shit by hand. Disney would have animated that shark with 3D. Spindlehorse does it by hand. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. So we have a 3D background, obviously, you'd have to. And the screens are projected in 3D, it looks like, as well. But Vox is hand-animated, basically on 2s and 3s the whole time. As they're doing that fucking... And again, I cannot fucking glaze the compositors enough for making this work. Jesus. Gott im Himmel. Because the animator has to animate to the fucking camera move. Right? The animator has to animate Vox so that his rotation matches the three-dimensional move of the camera that they're working within, right? So they have to do that, and then they have to character animate him. And then they choose to do this. They choose to fucking... He grabs his own cables, and then he dangles himself like a hanged man while rotating, because fuck off! And, like, frame by framing it back. Now, that's an interesting expression on his face. Frame by framing it back, you can definitely see, like, it's not perfect, right? Like, it's not 100% geometrically perfect with the camera, but it's more than good enough. I am a bit curious about that expression. That looks less triumphant and more terrified to me. He didn't die from hanging, did he? What a fucking shot, holy shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh man. Okay, anyway, let's keep watching. 3, 2, 1, go. We love to cut to a tonal horror. Yeah, no, that ship is sailed. Da 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 da. Tone shift. Jarring shift in tone. Oh, Loot so fucking happy with herself. So yeah, communication. Communication is the theme. Also, hi honey, I'm home. I like that effect. I like you can see Charlie in the flames before the doors burst open. That's very cool. This fight, why didn't you ask me? Vaggie has been trying to talk to you the whole time, Charlie. She's been trying very hard to talk to you. You have not exactly been reachable. And again, like, Vaggie should have fucking talked to Charlie first, right? Like, Vaggie should not have done this just on her own. That was a very, very bad idea, right? Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't send the King of Hell to do anything without first consulting with other people to make sure it actually is a good idea. And also, this is correct, right? Charlie gave Vox all of the ammo, right? All Vox had to do was be like, nee, Charlie is bad, and Charlie was there. She was there offering him access, offering him sound bites, exclusive backstage. She was going on his TV show. She was giving him all the ammo he needs to do what he does, right? Because Vox, again, Vox doesn't really have that much power without other people giving it to him in various ways. We see him reach, like, Vox's ascendancy of power, right? Like, the most powerful he's ever been is here. And the reason he's that powerful, the reason he has all of this is because they showed up and gave it to him, right? They provided him with everything he needed in order to, right, spin that out into his power source, which is the narrative, the media, right? They gave that to him on a silver platter. They gave it to him. Lucifer gave it to him. The angels gave it to him. Charlie gave it to him, right? Because Charlie should not have brought the fucking angels down there with gift baskets either. So, like, Vaggie is completely correct in her assessment here, right? Like, you're hyperfixating on what he's saying about you. Charlie becomes so upset and so obsessed with proving herself right. That's the other thing. One thing I very much like about Charlie and Vox as like heroes, as the hero, like the protagonist and the villain of the season, is that they both have the same fundamental flaw, right? And we see it in Vox. Vox needs so badly. He needs more than anything in the whole entire fucking universe. He needs people to be proven wrong, right? To everyone who doubted me, your doubting days are done. Like that shit, right? Both with Alastor, but also just in general. Like, that's Vox's deep insecurities. He needs to be the most powerful motherfucker in the world to prove to people that he's like, I'm a god. I'm perfect. I'm great. I'm amazing. I'm the best, because he has this deep hole of insecurity inside of himself that nothing will ever fill. Cult leader, right? He has that. Charlie has the same thing for different reasons, though, right? Charlie needs the hotel to work. She needs to be proven right that the hotel works, because if it doesn't work, if she can't redeem people, then Pensius died for nothing, right? That's her introduction. It's both of these things are set up in Has Been Guarantee, right? That my friend died for no reason, and I'm never gonna cope, and like if redemption isn't possible, then I am going to explode, right? Like, then I'm gonna fucking die, because I have no way to cope with that. So Charlie needs to be proven right. Like, the hotel needs to work. Other people need to believe that the hotel will work, because if I can't, Pensius died for no reason, right? Even though Pensius is still alive, like we talked about, Charlie has not processed that even a little bit. So she has that same desperate need to be proven right, for other people to see that she was right all along, right? Which is why Vox can manipulate her, because he's the one who he can pretend like he has the power to make that happen. He pretends, well, if you can convince me, then I'll tell all of hell the truth about it, right? Like, she's weak and vulnerable to that shit because she's so stuck in that ego, right? And it is ego, and it's driven by guilt, it's driven by grief, it's driven by shame, but it is ego. It is Charlie having this very vulnerable ego that she needs to soothe. And every time she does it, every time she goes on social media, like, every time she tweets, right? Like, a bunch of people immediately jump on her shit in bad faith, and it drives her up the wall and makes her even more upset. And then she doubles down, or she makes even worse decisions because she's trying constantly to fix the problem that she herself is effectively feeding by feeding into these social media structures that just that are made to benefit evil people. And it's like, yeah, it's ego. And it's not ego in the sense of she's a selfish person as such, right? Like, it's not that she's, like, ontologically deep in her soul and heart, like, to the very bottom of the marrow of her core, a bad person who's selfish and only cares about herself. It's that she has this blind spot, right? She has this fucking trauma about Pensius that she has no way to deal with, except the hotel needs to work. It needs to have been worth it somehow, right? and she's not addressing it. She's projecting that shit outwards and making it everyone else's problem. And as Vaggie says, she's hurting the hotel because she can't stop playing right into Vox's hands. She is giving Vox almost all of the power that he has. Vaggie doesn't help by sending Lucifer. Very, very dumb idea, Vaggie. You also should maybe have talked to someone about that before doing it. Vaggie certainly didn't help, right? And you can see that it's that ego, right? With Charlie. And she's angry, she's hurt, right? Vaggie has just said, you're hurting the hotel, you've been wrong this whole time, and that's hard to hear from someone who just fucked up real bad, right? Vaggie has not said sorry for that yet. I will like to point out that it starts with sorry, and Vaggie should maybe have said, I'm really sorry about doing that, and now let's, like, it's a hard, they'll say sorry later, I'm sure. But you can see that it's ego with Charlie. It's a wounded ego that responds by rejecting connection, right? And Charlie is making Sarah's mistake, which is self-isolation, right? I'll do it myself. I'll be responsible for it. No one else. I'll do it me, right? And I'm not going to talk to other people, and I'm not going to listen to other people. So go away, right? That's Sarah's mistake, again. And again, Charlie has the right to be really royally pissed about this because it is a bad, fucked up situation. And Lucifer fucked it up, and Vaggie fucked it up by not communicating with her. And she is very much a co-participant in the whole thing, right? Anyway, this is the mid-season all is lost moment. Sort of very transparently, right? Like, not necessarily, I don't think it's fully the all is lost moment. That usually happens a little bit later, but this is like, this is the deep low point from which we are going to start to climb towards a climax. We've been invoking Lilith so much. She's been on all those posters. Vox can't shut up about her. He's so obsessed with her. Charlie's been trying to reach her, and all we've seen her doing is sipping Mai Tais and eating apple slices in heaven. Being all mysterious and shit about it. So it really does feel like this kind of has to be the inflection point, right? Like, this kind of has to be the point where... Oh, shit. Charlie has the sins in her contact list. Like, it kind of has to be the point soon when Lilith actually fucking shows up and does something, right? She can't just be spooking around in the background the whole time. She's probably... I mean, they might be saving her for the cliffhanger at the very end of the last episode, that Lilith, like, shows up as, like, a last-minute, like, I'm back, bitches kind of situation. If you want a character to feel lonely, make them small in the frame. Just make them small in the frame. Make the world tower over them. Make everything else bigger than they are. Very simple trick to loneliness. Anyway, credits time. Oh, Medrano wrote this one on herself. Yeah, guess that makes sense given what it is. Directed by Vivian Medrano, written by Vivian Medrano, executive producer Vivian Medrano, Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs for Mark Jacobs by Mark Jacobs. Very much that one is personal to her, I guess. Ali Reich, Brett Coker. We're going through the credits on this one because Jesus fuck me Christ, I need to... Again, I'm not going to memorize them because I don't have that kind of brain, but I am at the very fucking least gonna read the names of the animators and the compositors and everyone. Because I really cannot emphasize enough. What an astonishing bit of like what a series of astonishing bits of animation. And I've been harping on about like production coordinators and production supervisors and producers and line producers and all of these people whose job sounds like middle management. It's like you fucking need those people on like to be on their shit to put an animation production together, because if they're not, then shit gets inconsistent real fast. And it's also miserable for animators, by the way, to work under a production coordinator who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Right? It's miserable for animators to work under managers who don't have their shit on lock, because that's when you get these situations where an animator spends a whole bunch of time on a shot and then is like, oh, well, that shot is actually, we decided not to use it last week and we forgot to tell you. Oops, I'm sorry, you just wasted all that time. And depending on the contract you have, if the shot doesn't get used, like, it's bad shit, right? Like, or it leads to animators doing a fuck ton of overtime or a bunch of extra people being brought on to emergency sort of patchwork a production because they didn't schedule enough work hours for the work that needed to be done, and then a bunch of people come into the last minute, and then it's a fucking chaos of trying to coordinate everyone. Like it becomes a mess. Like it becomes a mess, and it becomes miserable to work under as an animator when production staff are not on the ball. So like I know like I love myself the animation. I'm a character animation guy, but I do want to emphasize with every time I talk about a production like this that it's like it's everyone. It is everyone. You can't like everyone in the credits has a credit for a reason. Animators, Jesus Christ, pat yourselves on the back for this one. Holy fuck. Especially I really genuinely, if you find it, if someone posted somewhere on social media, please do tag me in that one shot of Lute yelling at Vox. Please tag me. I want to know who did that. Okay. Yeah. They just came out right out and said it. They just said it. They just said it. They just said Vox is Trump, he's also Hitler, and he's an Omega. Like, boy howdy. All three things at the same time. I'm feeling the hormones. I think I'm breedable. I'm very much in my breeding era. Need an alpha to breed me hard. I need a big man, a man who's very big, on top of me. Pump me full of babies. If I have to have the thought in my head, you have to hear about it. Fuck you. If I need to deal with this, so do you. Little Lucifer, too much of a beta to breed me. I get paid to do this. Can you believe that? I get paid for this somehow. There is no justice in the world. And when the revolution comes, I will be put up against the wall with the rest of them, and it'll be justified. It'll be deserved. Like, I'm not going to argue. It's like, yeah, fair enough. I had a good run. That's okay. But I'm going to go out on a Trump impression when he's talking about how much of a breedable Omega he is. I'm going to go out on my feet, not on my knees. Uh, this show really brings out the best in me, doesn't it? What the fuck's gonna happen next episode? Like I said, I feel like next episode, unless Lilith is like the cliffhanger thing of like she shows up all of a sudden and it's like, oh shit, things are about to change, and that's the cliffhanger for the final episode. It kind of has to be episode 6 if she is to have any kind of impact. If she is to have any impact on this season, she needs to be the next episode, because after this, there's only 2 more fucking episodes left to go, right? So it kind of has to be Lilith shows up now. Now that they've fucking edged us about her the entire fucking season so far, at some point we gotta have the actual, like, mommy has to come home, right? And find that her husband and her daughter has left the house all in a mess, and now things need to be fixed up. Speaking of which, Rosie has the power to make Alastor the most powerful sinner in hell. And Lilith's primary power that we know is the power to empower other demons, right? To empower. So there's an overlap there. I don't think Rosie is Lilith. That would be a little odd to me. But it feels like I'd say it's possible that there's some kind of connection. Like, whatever the fuck Rosie's deal is, by the way, is she has the power to create the most powerful sinner in hell, the most powerful overlord. But she herself is not known to other overlords as the most powerful overlord in hell. Like, Alastor seems to think that she is. So that's something. It sort of begs the question of, like, is Rosie a sinner? Is she like a person? Or is she another thing? I've seen people postulate that she might be Eve, right? Which is another thing of like, where the fuck is Eve is another question I've had on my mind, right? Like, because there were 2 women in the Garden of Eden, and like one of them was the one that ate the fucking apple, so that's kind of important. And that's where the people talk about Rue, right? Like this character Rue that's sort of been spooking about the background of the Helliverse for 100 million years. That's always sort of been a character that Viv Medrano seems to be very enthusiastic about, but who's been held back and not been introduced to anything, except they've now cast her voice, so she is going to show up, which sort of implies, I don't think Rosie could be Rue then, because then they already have the voice actor, surely. But, like, Rue, as the fandom lore goes, Rue is the root of all evil. Right? Like, that's what the character's supposed to represent. It's like, this is the source, the root of all evil. Like, the place that all the evil shit comes from, kind of. It's fandom lore. Nothing's canonical there. Like, it's all based on, like, old posts on Tumblr and, like interviews that Medrano has given and, like Q&As and shit where she's said things in bits and pieces years ago, right? So it's like, how much that has changed since then, who the fuck knows, because the show has changed a lot over the years of its development. So like, if we are operating in the framework of Eve, if we're operating in the framework of original sin, basically, right? Like, where Eve ate the apple, and then, oh shit, that's where all of the sin comes from, because that's the first sin. And then Eve is the one who induces Adam to eat the apple, and like, if we're operating on that old canard of original sin, then the root of all evil being Eve specifically is like, that would kind of make sense from, like, if you're going by that specific framework. I would wonder what they would do with that under those circumstances, because it's one of the major sources of structural misogyny in organized Christianity is this idea of original sin and the idea of women and the idea of Eve specifically as the originator of sin, right? And women as uniquely vulnerable or uniquely the source of sin in mankind. That shit all like the story of Eve as like the first sinner comes up a lot, right? In that thing. So I don't know what they're gonna like. It would be interesting if they tried to take a shot at that concept, because you have to deconstruct a lot of like if she's the root of all evil and she's Eve, it's like, what does that imply? Like, there's gonna be a feminist reading of that that's interesting. I don't know. I don't have a take on Rue. I don't have a take on it. I'm just wondering where Eve is, because I'm thinking through like the role that she would play in the narrative as Adam's other wife, right? That Lilith was Adam's wife, but she refused to be subservient and submissive and fucked off to do her own thing, and then like she fell in with Lucifer, right? Eve was made from Adam's rib specifically to be subservient, specifically to be, and again, this is biblical scholars will find some fault in the way that I'm explaining it, but I'm explaining it the way that people tend to pop culturally understand it. Eve was made from Adam's rib to be a perfect wife, perfectly obedient, perfectly good, like perfectly subservient to him. And like that then became the model for the proper relationship between men and women going forward. Where Lilith was created in God's image, sort of equal to Adam, right? Like created from dust and breathed in with the breath of life from God and so on. So think of where Eve would sit there. It's like, because the role of perfectly subservient wife to Adam is essentially being played by Lut. Right? Like that she's the one who's like completely, whose entire personality revolves around Adam. So where does Eve sit in this cosmology? Biblical scholars will object to the rib part too. Yeah, like this, it's a thing. I think the only thing that would really make sense is that Rosie is working for Lilith with the whole protecting Charlie through Al and being able to grant him power. I mean, yeah, that was also like because my original theory with Alastor is that he has a deal with Lilith, right? That was my original theory for Alastor. Is like, how did he show up one day and become so powerful? Well, someone gave him power. Who do we know who's capable of granting power to demons? Well, Lilith. So it made sense to me that he would have a deal with Lilith specifically. But then it turns out that Rosie can also do that, which begs the question, like, we haven't seen any other overlords grant power to people in their soul contracts, right? Being in a soul contract with someone is usually like that is typically a surrender of power. That's a loss of power. It's not a gain of power. So it's odd that Rosie's capable of doing it, but no one else seems to be, or no one else is doing it at the very least. And I'm curious about that. Like, whether that's just because overlords don't like to give power. Because it would make sense for overlords to be like, no, I'm not giving you any power, because if I give you power, then you become a threat to me. That makes perfect sense, right? It's the thing I'm wondering is, like, is it unusual? Is it a unique power for Rosie that she can grant that much power to someone else? I am curious about. Because if it's unique to her, then that's like, okay, then there has to be a Lilith connection, right? Because that is her power set. That is like specifically her portfolio. So, I don't know. Anyway, oh Jesus, 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. That's about right. That's about right. I kept it brief. I don't know how to tell you how many times I had to sort of drag myself forward to move on with some shit. Oh my God. I had to drag myself away from some of these shots. Fucking rotations, like, they do it just to flex. They do it just to flex. Anyway, YouTube, hello, yes, hi. Thank you for watching this video so far. There's something deeply wrong with you, but that's okay, because the same thing is wrong with me, probably. yeah, you can become a member of the channel, see things early if you want to, or don't. It's fine. You don't have to. And like, subscribe, comment, and do other things also if you want to. Yeah, that's about it, right? Bye.